Well, time to get some more little odds and ends wrapped up in my pontoon boat here. This video is going to be about the doors. There's not much to doors really, but when the bushings and the brackets are all out of whack, the doors are pretty crappy, so time to address that. This one's not too bad. You hear it? Loud. And loose. Door's been open and closed so many times that the holes are a little out of round now. They're kind of A-shaped. And should have had bushings inside of here. Bushings are long gone. I tried ordering the new bushings, which are available. The problem is they're not exactly cheap for the correct size because there's only a 1/16 of an inch or so between the hole inside diameter and outside diameter, so they're very thin and very weak, and they're like $9 each. And even if I did order the correct size, there's still a problem with the oblong hole that I created inside of there. So that's the first set of problems. The second set of problems is these aluminum rods. Some of them have broken off. So I need to replace the rods, and I need to figure out something to do with the bushings. New rods, ordered from McMaster. These are just 1/4-inch aluminum rods, 2 feet long. They're only going to need to cut down to size. Then I ordered some, they're not called bushings, they're called bearings. They're like 70 cents each or something like that. They're pretty cheap, but they slide in there absolutely perfectly. So the plan is to install them into the door, trim the rod down to size, and thread them. One thing that I didn't like about the doors that had bushings on them is as you slid them up and down, these would eventually work their way out. So what I want to do is find a drill bit just undersize of this outer diameter, almost to where I have to press it in. I think that'll kind of keep it in place. If not, I have another idea, which we'll address in a bit. Okay, measuring one of the original rods that isn't broken, I need it 16 and 5/16 long, but I'm just going to round up a little bit and go 16 and 3/8. I'm just going to clean up the end of the rod a little bit. Alright, El Cheapo tap and die set. Looking for a 1/4-20. 1/4-20. That was easy. And this thing is an absolute piece of junk. I don't think it's going to work for me, so I don't quite know how I'm going to thread it, but I'll figure out some way. That thing ain't going to cut it. So I went and robbed the tap and die set for my dad's side. He's used it a handful of times, at least the taps here, but never the dies. He bought this from Fedco in the early 80s. I go to use it. It's broken too. That's funny. Alright, I put a good chamfer on the end of the rod so the die will start and grab a little better. At least that's the theory. Alright, epic fail number 1 is concluded. I thread it. It's not quite straight, but it's good enough. For the bottom, anyway. So, I'm going to try to be a little bit better on this one. So what I'm doing is I'm using the bushing as a guide. That'll tell me if my little die here starts on there straight. If it goes on there crooked, I restart. Also starting the die by hand until I feel like it grabs, and if it's crooked, then I just keep trying. So far it seems like that little method should work. So it looks like my bushing is on there straight and this thing is grabbed. So I'll grab these guys, give it a good spin, and it falls off. So, I don't know if I'd say I did a horrible job on the threads. I just wouldn't say I did a good job on the threads. It's not that easy to keep it straight. In fact, it's incredibly difficult. So I'm going to go file the end so the bushing can come off a little easier, because this rod needs to go in and out okay. As it cuts and pushes the metal, it kind of raises the end. So I got to get that out of there. And also the pipe clamp wasn't working at all. So I used the vice grips, which marred it up a little bit. Not a big deal, nothing. A few seconds of filing won't fix. You'll see the marks, but there, see these marks? I think that's where they, when they cut this rod down to size, that was their clamp. So it's going to come marked up, but I'm cleaning it up a little bit. Alright, new rod is made. Threads are as crooked as could be. And the rod is as marred as I could get it. So, better than factory probably. So now it's the bushings. Alright, now our slightly out of round hole is our next problem. Well, it's not really a problem, because we're just going to run a drill bit through it. So, 3/8 of an inch outside diameter, which is 0.3775, 0.3775, 780, around there. So let's find a drill bit. Okay, so I drilled 3 holes in this spool of wire here. A V, a 3/8, and a U. Now U barely fits. You could probably force it in or hammer it in. 3/8 fits perfect. And the V should be a hair bigger, but probably due to the production quality of the drill bits, it's a hair smaller. So I'm going to try the U, which I have in my little drill first. Try to press it in, see if that works. If not, I'll probably do one of the other two. Let's give it a try. So I want this hole to have a slight taper to it so that the bushing will guide its way in. So all I'm going to do is go through with my round file, put a little chamfer on the ends, on the sides. So the bushing or bearing will kind of go in now. So I'm going to go in here with my installation press. Fingers crossed that this works. But at 90 cents, 80 cents, 70 cents, however much these things cost, it's not the end of the world if it breaks. I just want it to go in. Hey, look at that. So by pressing that in, it changed the inner diameter, and now our rod doesn't really go in. I could probably force it, but if I did, you're not lifting that door up and down easily. So to remedy that, I'm going to drill at the center, 1/4 inch drill bit. See if that fixes our little rod issue. Which it does. Still a little stiff. Okay, try it with a different drill bit. Seemed to do the trick. Okay, next hole is drilled. Alright, I have a ridiculously long 1/4 inch drill bit to clean up this bushing. let's get some hardware on my newly made rod. So you shouldn't use stainless steel here, you should use aluminum. Reason being, these dissimilar metals will kind of fuse themselves together. Now, had I have thought of that when I ordered these rods, I would have also ordered the correct nuts. They're not really expensive, like $4 for a box of them. However, completely forgot. That looks about good. Alright, moment of truth. Quiet so far. Got some rattle of the sheet metal. But otherwise, oh, that works quite well. Gets a little stuck right there. So this foot is tapered, which kind of makes sense. So you guides the door in all the way down. It locks down. So if you let go, it sinks into the lock, making it a little more forced to open it again. But otherwise, that's pretty good. That's a good feeling door. Now the front door here gets used the most. It is the absolute worst. Now I was shaking it a bit, but it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. We'll see how it does. Moment of truth. It's a little stickier than the other one. But it's not hitting the carpet anymore. It was before. A little bit of play at the top screw. Not much I can do about that unless I want to put it in another bushing. Now I know why it's a little stiffer, and that's because this bracket is slightly bent down. Probably find a hammer. I'll get something to tap that up, see if that helps. So the bottom one was bent upwards a little bit from, hitting it downward hundreds of times. Bent that down a little bit. Door opens and falls properly now. Alright, all the doors are done at this point. Except the rear, because that one's almost brand new. Nobody's ever used it. It's had a seat blocking it its whole life. But fronts, they all needed attention. So they open better, they swing better, they close better, everything about it. All around better. Especially the front, because it was almost dragging on the carpet. Yeah, something needed to be done with the front door. But we're good now. Now you may ask yourself, well, why did I just watch this video? It was kind of boring. Yeah, it probably was just a simple door. But it was the only footage that I had ready to go. And for the past week and some change here, they're knee deep in pontoon cleaning. Keep an eye out for that video. Hopefully I'll be done here in the next few days and that'll go up. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know below. If you think this way was dumb, let me know. And if you have any thoughts to my rod making, please let me know. Now, am I the best metal worker? Obviously not. I'll put links to the rods and bushings below, but if you decide to use those, you might want to make sure yours were the same sizes. If not, adjust accordingly. Alright guys, see you in my next video. Should be soon. It's all about cleaning.